All right, how's everybody doing this evening? We'll go ahead and get started here as people join in. Let's see, is it too late to enter the giveaway? Yes, so the deadline to enter was exactly 2 minutes ago. So sorry you missed this one, but I am going to be doing a lot more giveaways, so stay tuned. I actually have two of these, of the two airs, so I'll probably be giving another one away in the future, so stay tuned. But yes, as of right now, it is too late to enter this one. No problem. We did have, with it just ending, let me check the number of entries that we have here. We had 690 entries in the giveaway, which is pretty awesome. This is one of my more popular giveaways, so that's good. I'm glad this is something you guys were interested in. Hello, how are you? Hope you guys are having a good evening. And I'm going to do this as a kind of a Q&A a little bit before I draw the winner. So if you guys have any questions, put it in the chat. I have this set to be somewhat of a very small delay, so hopefully I'll be able to respond pretty quickly. Howdy, Aaron. And I'll tell you guys too, I'm sure some of you guys probably saw it, but at the Electrify Expo this past weekend, that was pretty cool. There wasn't a ton of cars there, but I did get to see the new EV9. I got to see the GT line and the Land version of it, which both of them are pretty awesome, I have to say. They were very comfortable to sit in. They have a lot of space inside. My cats right now are on the bed playing with each other very loud, so you might hear them in the background. Yeah, the EV9 had tons of space, power like first and second rows. One thing I really liked of the EV9, the second row has heated and cooled seats, which is pretty cool. In both EV9s that I looked at, it's just overall was a really nice vehicle. I'm gonna have a couple of videos. I'm gonna have a short walking around it, but then I'm gonna have a more in-depth kind of long form video of it where I'll show you guys the inside and give you my thoughts on it. I'm curious on the price. So this is something I was trying to get them to kind of, I got there a little early, and I was able to talk to some people at Kia a little bit on it, and I couldn't really get them to give me a definitive price range. But supposedly it's going to start in the 50s in the US, and probably be $50,000 to $70,000. So let's see, how was my trip to DC? It was great. I got to see that. Got to see a lot of cool cars, which was pretty neat. Got to see the Polestar 3, which is a really nice vehicle. I'll have a video on that too. Yeah, Todd, $59,999. That is technically still in the 50s. Yeah, sorry you missed the deadline to enter. That was, as of right now, 5 minutes ago. I tried to make it really tight, so the deadline was basically as soon as this started. Did I get the ICCU update? No, not yet. That is something that my dealership has been crazy busy lately, and usually they would let me kind of just drop in for an hour to do an update like that, but they were super slammed. So I have it scheduled for just over a week from now, I think. I think it's next Wednesday or Thursday that I'll be getting that done. So let's see, 65,000 minimum. Supposedly it's supposed to be in the 50s for the EV9, so we'll have to see. Excuse me. Advantages for this device over the Carsify adapter. So Carsify, it's my understanding, uses the CarPlay protocol to provide Android Auto. So theoretically, the Carlinkit 5.0, because it uses the CarPlay protocol for CarPlay and the Android Auto protocol for Android Auto, it should have less of a lag. Excuse me. Me personally, I haven't really experienced much of a lag, at least not really significant with Carsify. So there's that. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. With Carsify, you can't. With the EV6, you can't adjust things like the DPI. I know some people would do that to kind of make things smaller or bigger on the screen and things like that. And I think on the back end of the Carlinkit 5.0, in the back end settings, you might have that option. It's been a little while since I dove into them, so. But either way, both of them should work really well. The Carlinkit 5.0 provides both wireless Android Auto and wireless CarPlay in a single device, which the Carlink unit is just wireless Android Auto. And Carlink actually costs a little bit more, so I do like the Carlinkit 5.0 a lot. The Carlink costs a little bit more after you take into account my promo code for the Carlinkit 5.0. Without that promo code, I think they're pretty close, or the Carlinkit 5.0 might be a little bit more. Does the 22 to 23 EV6 have the hardware to support wireless CarPlay? So from what I've seen, I've read this in a bunch of different places. It does have the hardware to do it. Supposedly, there was an issue with the navigation system provider, which was TomTom, and the agreement was essentially they couldn't agree on the fact that when you were using streaming like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, that the map button actually on the dash that would take you to the navigation screen, whether that would route you to the car's navigation or take you to the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay navigation. Supposedly that's what the issue was. That said, I don't know how that's any different than if it's wired versus wireless. I don't know why that would impact things, but I've heard that and seen that in multiple places, that it was the agreement with TomTom that was the issue. But supposedly they've worked through that, and there's going to be an update coming that's going to provide that functionality to the vehicles. We should have the capability to do that. I think the vehicles have had actually the hardware to do it since around like 2019. So hopefully they'll be able to just do an update to get that to us. So. Noticed a big improvement with the 5.0 in your EV6. That's good. I haven't tested the 4.0. Actually, after doing the review of the 5.0, Carlinkit reached out to me and sent me a Carlinkit 4.0 and a Carlinkit 3.0 to review. They wanted me to test all of them out and kind of walk through the differences, and that's something that's going to be an upcoming video. But I'll definitely have to check out the 4.0 and see if I have the disconnection issues. I know I've heard some people have said that. Heard the issue was the wireless connection was unstable. So I've heard Kia quote that, and I think that's kind of just like a blanket response to kind of say like wired is better. The problem with that is that all of the lower end models have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So it's only the widescreen radios that don't have it. So if it was that the wireless connection was unstable and they preferred it to be wired, you would think that'd be across the board, not for the higher end radio systems. So walkaway door locking. Yeah, so in my opinion, I think walkaway door locking and unlocking when you walk up to the vehicle should absolutely be features of the car, and it is something that they can definitely do. It's kind of frustrating to me that they don't do that. I have to be honest. I had a Nero EV before my EV6, and that was feedback I had on that too. The fact that the car recognizes when you walk up and signals that to you because the mirror is open. Obviously, you know the car knows that you're there because it can detect the key fob. If the mirror is open, to write code to where it automatically unlocks the doors, or at least gives you the option in the infotainment system to make it so it automatically unlocks the doors when you walk up. It's pretty simple. I've talked to some people who do coding and software development, that type of thing, and it's apparently very, very easy to do that. GT Line already does the unlocking. Yeah, the GT Line does present the door handles when you walk up, but there's no reason that the Wind could not do that. It's a very simple piece of code, supposedly. So, excuse me. Let's get some water here. What else you guys want to talk about? Let's see. Saw a video stating the EV9 would have a USB port to add storage for dash cam functionality. So I did. If it's going to be similar to how the EV6 is, that USB port for the storage, I'm pretty sure in Korea it's in the glove compartment. I did not get into the glove compartment of the EV9. Now that I think about it, that's not something I thought to do. I've had a very short time with it, but it's my understanding that the US versions are not going to have the dash cam capability like it is in Korea, similar to how it is with the EV6. I'm not sure really what the logic is behind that, because I think with how Tesla's like built-in dash cam and basically 360 cam setup is, it's very popular, and I would think that other manufacturers would want to provide that kind of thing. So, oh, by the way, those of you in the comments, I remember this from the last one. Can you hear me? Make sure, let me know if the volume is good. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. Somebody after the last giveaway was saying that they had a hard time hearing me and had to turn their TV way up. So let me know if you guys can hear me in the comments there. Privacy. I mean, I guess I could see it for privacy, but it's something that can be enabled or disabled. So all good, good, glad. But yeah, it's something that can be enabled or disabled, just like with Teslas. You can enable it or you can disable the thing there. But I think it's definitely beneficial to have the dash cam. So for the ICCU software update, you can see it in Car Scanner. You can see the software version. I'll probably do a follow-up video after I get it done. I'll probably do it before it, like record it before and after, so I can show you both sets of code, what you're looking for and what it is. Someone at the Electrify Expo told me that in order to see it, you have to have Car Scanner Pro. I haven't tested that to see it. I do have Car Scanner Pro, so I'll try to verify if that is the case. Side note, if you guys want to see any of your information about the vehicle using Car Scanner and a Bluetooth dongle, I definitely recommend getting Car Scanner Pro. It's not that expensive. It helps support the people that do it, and it's a good software to have. You don't have any ads when you buy it, and it's, like I said, I think it's like $5. So, did I ever make the Car Scanner usage video? I didn't. I don't think I've ever made a video on how to like set it up initially, but I have done videos showing it in action. Like right after the battery preconditioning update, I did a test where I was showing the like temperatures and things like that. So I have shown it in action, but I don't think I've shown it setting it up. So I know that was a video I wanted to do in the past. I just honestly haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So I apologize. I have a lot of videos I need to I need to do. I have a lot of product reviews to do. I have a lot of videos I want to do. I'm coming up on 20,000 miles, and I still haven't done a 1-year update, so I'm probably gonna have it just be a 20,000 mile, 1.25 year update on my thoughts on the EV6 and that sort of thing. So for the ICCU update, the vast majority of people, excuse me, the vast majority of people are just going to need a software update, and it's kind of hard for Kia to mess that part up. So I would not be too worried. They also shouldn't turn you away or tell you that they're not going to do it, or say they're going to charge you. I know with some TSBs, people were saying that Kia was saying they were going to charge them for it, which is, that alone is ridiculous. But for this type of thing, they shouldn't do that. Does it tell what the orange light on the dash means? So the orange light on the dash is just when the high voltage battery is charging your 12-volt battery. That's all that means. It doesn't indicate that there's something wrong with the car. It can potentially, I guess, be an early indicator that something may be off if you see it all the time, or you see it regularly. I know some people that have had 12-volt issues before it really got bad, they would see the orange light or the yellow light all the time on the dash. So, but seeing it every now and then, that's normal. It just means that the car is charging the 12-volt battery as it should. Did my update on Friday? They applied all the updates that were available. So the thing to remember with updates, on my website, technicallyjeff.com, I have like a Kia EV6 kind of portion at the top menu, and then there's technical service bulletins that I have listed there. With technical service bulletins, you have to have there be an issue. You have to come in with an actual issue for them to apply the technical service bulletins. So if you just go in saying you want all the updates that are available, they're only going to apply service actions and service campaigns. So the ICCU update is a service campaign. There are also service actions that come out that basically whenever you bring the car in for service, they automatically apply. I think the AMP update was one of those, and the iPedal update that was recently put out was one of them. But if you want all of the updates that are available, all of them, then you have to have the issues that the TSBs address, or at least like make them aware of that, for them to apply those. So that's important to know. My voice is kind of raspy. Hope I'm not getting sick. What else you guys want to talk about? I'm up to talk about anything. EV6 related, tech related, random stuff. General question for those who live in hot temperatures, 110 for 24 days straight. That's kind of crazy. What kind of miles per kilowatt hour are you getting? Can only get 3.2 on average rear-wheel drive. So one thing I will say, miles per kilowatt hour is highly variable depending on temperatures. So being hot, you're obviously going to be running the AC a lot, so that's going to impact it some. But speeds impacts it a ton. So I think that's something that a lot of people don't take into account. If you're going, like in my car that's all-wheel drive, if I'm going 75 miles an hour, I can probably go from 100 to 0%. I can probably go about 250 miles at 75 miles an hour. At 55 miles an hour, I could probably go 320 miles. So it can be a fairly substantial difference depending on how fast you drive. So let's see, Dallas Fort Worth area here, getting 3.4, 75% highway driving at 70 miles an hour. Pretty solid. It's pretty solid. Aaron, do you have a rear-wheel drive EV6, or is yours all-wheel drive? All-wheel drive. It's definitely solid though. Yeah, David, a lot of it could be dependent on your kind of mix of driving. If you do a lot of highway driving, that can definitely play a part and have a big impact. I remember my wife and I were coming back from her dad's, and we should have had plenty of range, probably about like a 40-mile buffer, but she was in kind of a hurry and cruising about like 85 to 90, and about halfway home, I realized that at those speeds we weren't going to make it home, so I had to have her slow down some, which is pretty funny, but definitely can impact things depending on how fast you're going. All right. If I use Waze on CarPlay and want to charge mid-journey, does it trigger battery preconditioning, or do I always need to use the key and nav for it to work? So for battery preconditioning, 100% as of right now, you have to use the key and navigation. There is no way around that. The car does not talk to CarPlay or Android Auto at this point. Maybe it will in the future. Probably won't. Maybe it will, though. I'm hopeful that it will. That said, one of the benefits that I see of the Carlinkit TBox Plus that I reviewed, not the 5.0, but the TBox Plus, is you can run your navigation on that and the navigation in the car at the same time. So you can still use Waze, but still get the preconditioning as long as the route in the car takes you to the same place that Waze does. So just as a FYI, that is a benefit of the TBox Plus. No, Jonathan, you haven't missed the giveaway yet. I'm just doing a quick Q&A before drawing the winner here. Lots of good discussion here. Let's see, do I plan to switch? I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Do I plan to switch my EV6 to an EV9 when it's available, and which one? I will say it would be very difficult for me to do that at this point, considering how much the trade-in values for the EV6 have plummeted. last year, in the past year, the values have just gone down drastically. The combination of Tesla dropping their prices significantly has really played a big part. And then now all the rebates that Kia is putting on them since they don't qualify for the tax credit has had an impact. So I'm fairly upside down now, and I'd have to, I don't know. I don't know how I could make it work and have it make sense. I do love the EV9. I just don't know how I can have it make sense. I have been talking with Kia, and I think it would be pretty cool to be able to get one of these for a little bit of time to do some tests and review, like a review on the car, do some feature videos, that type of thing. So that is something that could potentially be coming down the road. But as for me trading my EV6 in on it, it's going to be difficult unless all of a sudden there's some shortage in EV6s and everybody wants one, and it's trade-in values go up a lot. So let's see. David Schwartz, 80% street, not highway. So if you're getting 3.2, 80% street, not highway, is fairly low. Granted, it is really hot, but the AC doesn't use nearly as much energy as like when you're heating the car. So, I mean, you could check things like, I don't know, do you drive in eco or do you drive in normal or sport? That could play a little bit of a part. Check your tire pressures. The higher tire pressures can help a little bit. If your tire pressures are down at like 30 to 32 psi, it may not trigger the low tire pressure warning, but that can have an impact on your efficiency and that sort of thing. But the 3.2 is a little bit low for, especially for rear-wheel drive when you're driving on the street a lot. Also, make sure you're not using level 0 for regen because that doesn't do any regen. Basically, it's all brakes. So let's see. Sorry, I'm scrolling down here. A lot of comments came through. Brian's getting some solid numbers there. Texas to Maryland road trip in June, average 3.0. So that's probably all highway 3.0. That's solid. Depending on how fast you're driving, 3 miles per kilowatt hour is 230 miles or so on our car. So that's solid, especially if you're going 75, 80 miles an hour. Do I know if battery preconditioning is only available for the all-wheel drive models? I would think probably as they have the heat pump and the rear-wheel drive doesn't. I'm pretty sure the battery preconditioning is for all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, because I don't think it necessarily uses the heat pump. I think the battery preconditioning uses the battery heater to do it, and I'm fairly certain that all of the EV6s have the battery heater. Anybody in the comments, if you have a rear-wheel drive EV6, can you confirm if you have the battery preconditioning update? That would be helpful for Todd. Let's see, Jonathan, no, have not missed the giveaway. Thanks for all the answers. I'm happy to help, guys. I like to be able to talk with you guys. I noticed TBox when I started navigation on the Waze or Maps and CarPlay would cancel my built-in car navigation, vice versa. David, when you're talking about that, are you talking about the TBox Plus? And are you running CarPlay on the TBox Plus, or are you running Waze not through CarPlay but like the Waze app? Because using the Waze app should allow it to work. Thoughts on how by EV6 charges up to 338 miles and the car is rated only up to 318. So when it comes to the estimated range, that is 100% a guess. That's why it's called a guess-o-meter. You might see GOM referenced in a lot of places. The 338 that you're seeing, it's literally just based off of recent driving habits and like the climate and that type of thing, but it's going to vary. If you drive it really hard and speed a lot, you're going to see a lot lower estimates, but it's highly variable. So have I tested efficiency with different tire pressures? I have not. I run it between 30 to 40 psi in my car. Just as like a general rule, that's kind of what I always set it at. Um, but I have not tested to see what kind of difference there is. I see you're saying 15 to 20% higher. That is a pretty big difference. I wouldn't think it'd be that high, but I've seen from what I've read that every like 5 psi, like increasing at 5 psi over the default would be like 5% increase. But I haven't tested that personally. David, normal auto region level 2 psi 38. Well, what were you getting, David, efficiency wise under like normal temperatures, not 110 degrees? It could just be that it is using that much. One thing you could do, David, is look at the instantaneous readout in the Kia. If you go to the EV settings, and then I think it's called electricity use, it will tell you how much energy is being diverted to climate, and you can see how much your AC is using. Depending on how fast you're driving, if it is using like 2 or 3 kilowatts, I mean, that is pretty substantial, and that will have a pretty big impact. Even a solid 1 to 2 kilowatts all the time could have an impact, so it could be that. Let's see, values for the EV6 in the UK. I'm from still high because there's a shortage of massive wait list. Yeah, I have to say it's kind of crazy to me to hear that there are these wait lists in the UK, and I know Canada has like a big long wait list. In the US, we don't. My local Kia dealership has like 12. I know a lot of people that have local Kia dealerships that have a ton of EV6s sitting on the lots. EV6 GTs just sitting there for months at a time. So it's crazy to me that the EV6 has such a high allocation in the USA compared to other regions. That was one of the updates. They did not apply. Yeah. So it is a TSB. The battery preconditioning, I'm pretty sure that's what you're referring to. It is a TSB. So you would have to go in saying that you have really slow DC fast charge speeds when it's cold outside. And then they would apply that TSB to improve the speeds at a DC fast charger when it's cold. Let's see, David, Plus and CarPlay ways. Yeah, so if you're using the TBox Plus, if you're using CarPlay, it's going to act as it normally would, and it's going to kind of revert one to the other. But if you use Waze, if you install Waze on the TBox Plus and don't use it through CarPlay, but on the TBox Plus's Android operating system, if you install Waze that way and run Waze, then you can run Waze there and have the car's navigation system going at the same time. That's what I've done on road trips, and it works really well. Dealer delivered your car with 40 to 41 psi. That's good. I'm pretty sure the door says 36 psi is the recommended. So 40 to 41 is a little bit high. I know some dealerships pump up those numbers. I know some places when you get your tires changed, they do like 45 to 50 psi. So always check your tire pressures. Luckily, the EV6 makes that easy in the gauges. So. Let's see, Todd, brand new EV6 owner. Maybe I'm being stupid, but is there an easy way to turn off climate using the climate buttons? So far, I've only found an off button on the climate settings on the touchscreen. Yeah, it's very easy. So on the climate buttons, there's the toggle that switches between the infotainment system controls and the climate controls. When you have it switched to the climate controls, if you just hit the power button as if you were going to turn off the radio, but you're on the climate system, if you just hit the power button, it turns off the climate system completely. Let's see. Local Kia has at least 20. Yeah, not surprising. There's a lot of EV6s out there. And I have to say, like, to me, originally, a few months ago, after Tesla dropped their prices a lot, and the EV6 was no longer eligible for the tax credit, and Kia didn't have any rebates out, yeah, I was like, nobody's going to buy the EV6. This doesn't make any sense. Like, you can get a Tesla Model Y that's comparable for like $15,000 less. Granted, the EV6 has vehicle to load and looks a lot better in my opinion, but I don't know if I would spend $15,000 more on that. But now that the EV6 has all of the different rebates that are out there and dealerships are negotiating actually now, I would have thought demand would have come up some, but it doesn't seem like it's there, especially since it's such a highly rated vehicle. Everywhere I go, people always talk about how cool it looks and like the features and things like that. And I know it's won all kinds of awards, so it's very interesting. Good job helping each other out there. All right, what else you guys want to talk about? We've been talking for 30 minutes already. We'll go a little bit longer. You guys got any other questions about the EV6 or any other tech stuff, or trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to hit on. Interesting. It's super annoying. It is annoying. Yes. it's annoying for me because I want to. I love my EV6, but I do not like seeing my resale value as low as it is. That's quite annoying. But I guess we'll see what ends up happening there. Airspeed philosophy of an unladen swallow. Yeah, I don't think I could give you that answer. That was from Monty Python, right, Brian? Let's see. New Hampshire is horrible for DC fast charging locations, pretty much EA. What can we do to push the state government to install more? So there's a lot of federal grants that are out there now. I don't know if there's anything specific to New Hampshire that they may be doing to limit it, but you could look at local kind of resources to see. I know some jurisdictions might have a lot of hoops that EV charging companies have to work through in order to get things approved and installed and that sort of thing. And that could be the issue for New Hampshire. I haven't looked at New Hampshire specifically, but I have heard that in different regions, so that could be part of it. Let's see. Keep it for a long time. I mean, honestly, I plan on keeping my car for a long time, so I just don't like to know that it's way down. And if I do decide I want the EV9, I don't want to be $10,000 upside down or something. Yes, it was. Ha! There you go. It's a good movie. I haven't seen that in a long time. They have money from the federal and the VW. Yeah, Electrify America. Yep. When will I announce the winner? I was just doing a Q&A first before I announce the winner. You guys tell me, do you want to keep talking? Do you want me to go do the drawing? What do you think? You tell me. I'm open to keep talking. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I will tell you while I'm here, I have a few more EV chargers that I'm going to be reviewing. I bought a Tesla mobile charger, their mobile connector, which charges at 32 amps, and I have several now Tesla to J1772 adapters to review. So I will definitely be posting those in the coming days. Also have a couple of dash cams still to review. Kind of looking around, trying to remember what else I got here. Ooh, one thing I have that's pretty cool is, I don't know if I told you guys about this yet. I have a portable air conditioner that you wear around your neck that this company sent me to review, which is pretty cool. So I'll be sharing that pretty soon. Make them wait. Did I try the Tesla charger with the EV6? So I haven't tried this one yet. I have tried others with adapters, and it can work depending on the adapter. I'm excited to test out these other adapters to see if they have the same issue that the Electron had, where you have to initiate the charge to get it to go. Like you have to manually do it, either I think through the app or get in the car and like push the power button to kind of trigger it to start. Or if these will be like the Tesla tap, where you connect it and plug it in and it just works. Ideally, it'd be like the Tesla tap, but the Tesla tap is the only one that I've tested that just kind of works. But like I said, I do have several to test out, and if they do work, that's going to be great because the Tesla tap is not very cheap. So Tesla mobile connector works very well, especially with a Tesla tap mini. Yeah, yep. So Tesla mobile connector is really, honestly, that's something that I'm probably going to be. I may review it by itself because it's not that expensive, and it comes with the NEMA 1450 plug and just a normal NEMA 515 where you can plug it into a normal outlet, which is pretty cool that it has that. And like I said, it's not very expensive. And if you already have a connector because you want to be able to plug at Tesla, um, like charging stations, if you have a Tesla tap already, like I do, it's kind of handy to just have that on hand when you go places, especially because you know it's going to be a good quality one from Tesla. So, um, my positive YouTube review of the Tesla Tab Mini caused you to buy it. Yeah, it's great. I like my Tesla Tab Mini a lot. I wonder if Kia will onboard the new Tesla connector. So I think that Hyundai Kia is going to almost be required to because so many manufacturers have now gone to the NACS connector. I mean, you've got Ford, GM, which means Cadillac, Chevrolet, GM is going to have that. You've also got Mercedes, you've got Rivian, obviously Tesla has that connector. Who was the recent one? Oh, Nissan recently said they're going to do it. So it's all these companies are going to it. I think it's just a matter of time. I know originally the Hyundai Motor Group, which owns Kia and Hyundai and Genesis, they said that they were looking into it and evaluating it, and then they recently said that they are still looking into it. So I think they're kind of getting a lay of things to see what, like a lay of the landscape to see what other companies are doing. And they're also, I'm sure, talking to Tesla about the voltage, since the EGMP cars charge at or are 800 volt vehicles, and all of the Tesla chargers at this point, except for the V4, are 400 volt. It doesn't let the EV6 charge quite as fast, but I know V4 is supposed to be 1,000 volts, so that should be good when they roll out. So we'll have to see. Have the neck air conditioner on so you can get better miles per kilowatt hour. Hey, there you go. I'm excited to just wear it around the yard, like when I'm cutting grass or walking the dogs or something. J Plus Booster 2 with adapter pack. J Plus Booster 2, is that an EV charger? Let's see. Tell us more about Electrify Expo. So Electrify Expo was really cool. They reached out to me before going to see if I wanted to apply because they like my EV6. I went there, and in the show-off portion, which is where I was, which I did win Best SUV, woohoo! Even though I don't know if I consider the EV6 a SUV. There was a lot of Teslas, there was a few Rivians, but mainly it was Teslas that were showing. So I think they really wanted to have something other than a lot of Teslas there, which is why they probably reached out to me. But it was a lot of fun. Got to see some really nice cars. I'll be sharing some videos of. They also had a track for people to test out like electric bicycles or electric like scooters and electric skateboards and almost like electric motorcycles, but not quite to that level. They had some of those there. They had where you could just drive a bunch of vehicles yourself. So they had vehicles from, excuse me, they had vehicles from Tesla, Volvo, Kia, Lexus, VW, a bunch of vehicles that you could just drive with a representative there to test drive it, which is pretty cool that they had that. I was going to drive a Tesla Model X with my wife, but ended up running out of time, couldn't do that. But I do like the Tesla Model X a lot, I have to say. But overall, it was a lot of fun. It was cool to see the new cars there. I really like the EV9 a lot. I like the Polestar 3 a lot, but it is very expensive. The version that was there was the high-end version that's $98,000, which it's nice, but I don't know if it's $98,000 nice. There was a BMWs were there. The new i7 was there, which is really nice, and it has this massive, like, huge 8K screen that goes across the behind the driver and passenger seat for the rear passengers, which is really pretty cool to see. But it was a good time. I liked it there. Met some good people too. Let's see. Do I see any trends on doing software releases like Tesla's Nope. Not with the EV6. I will say that. Manufacturers, I will say, are moving towards the Tesla updates. So Ford has been doing tons of updates lately. They've updated their Blue Cruise a bunch of times, which apparently now is one of the best systems out there, which is pretty cool. I know Rivian does a lot of updates. Volkswagen recently did a pretty big update with their systems in the ID4, but nobody's really as frequent as Tesla is with the updates. I think with the EV9, Kia is going to be planning on doing a lot more. I know that Kia is also, with the EV9, having where you have like an app store where you can buy additional things and different widgets for the infotainment system. You can customize the front grille and things like that. So I'm hopeful that they're going to be working that way. But JR Booster 2 is another good UL listed portable EVSD. That's good to know. I did not know that. I haven't heard of that one before. I'm actually going to text myself that name to look into that. V4 supercharger will charge our vehicles. Yes, it will. That'll be cool. Model X going setup is difficult with city parking lots. Yeah, I can imagine that would be kind of difficult. And it's cool to see, and I think it's pretty cool that I can just kind of stand up and get in the car and don't have to like bend down, but I can see there being a lot of issues there. Do I have any sense what percentage of owners have been able to download updates over the air? I do not. There are delays. So the people that have been getting OTA updates recently, over the air updates, they've been getting ones that are like old. So I'm not relying on over the air updates at all for the EV6 at this point. Anytime there's an update, I just install it via the thumb drive. It takes maybe an hour, 2 hours max, and just get it done and over with. It said all the good BMW designers went in the motorcycle department. I like the interior of the BMWs. The outside, the i7, man, it is not the prettiest looking things, especially from the front. Some of those cars look kind of weird now. I think like 5 years ago, BMWs looked really good. They've really kind of, I don't know. I don't know where they're going there. Any Mercedes with a crazy rear wheel steering? I did not see any. No, I did not see that. That's pretty cool though. Hesitating between the EV9 and an R1T. I would choose the R1T because it's got tons of space. It's a truck. It's very fast. Solid range. Good updates. That said, I wouldn't put that really in the same class as the EV9. Maybe the R1S. And the R1S is going to be significantly more expensive than the EV9, and I probably would choose the EV9 over the R1S, the high-end EV9. But I would probably do that. So. All right, well, we are 45 minutes in here. Let's go ahead and get to the giveaway. It has been great chatting with you guys, though. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we get to do that again soon. But let's get to the giveaway. We had 690 entries, and let's see who the winner is. So on my website, I have a plugin built in that allows me to just push a button and select the winner. So let's go. One winner. And here we go. All right. The winner is Ari Malik. Ari Malik. You're the winner. Congratulations. You have won the Carlinkit 5.0. I'm going to send you an email with my information, my contact information, obviously, so that you can email me your name, phone number, and where you want it shipped, and I can get that shipped out to you. Congratulations again. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Let me see here. Make sure I didn't miss any questions here. How do I know all the TSBs I should have on my car? You have the list, but you don't know which ones are the best to have. The TSBs that I can say I would recommend are battery preconditioning, the iPedal update, so that you get the automatic parking brake. What else? There's the amp update if you haven't gotten that already, but that should automatically be applied. Honestly, I would probably get all of them at this point. Even the one I know a lot of people are kind of apprehensive about is the one that supposedly fixes the throttling, or not the throttling, fixes the charging interruption issue that the EV6 has. All it does is throttle the speeds instead of stop it. So if it's charging at 40 amps and then it gets too hot, previously it would just stop and you'd wake up and your car wouldn't be charged. Now it drops it to the 60% level and it continues to charge. It's really just a band-aid, but it is one I recommend still getting, because if the car wasn't going to stop before, it's not going to stop now. But if it was going to stop before, at least now you still get charging. So I would try to get all of them done if it were me, and I have had all of them done that I can. But yeah, congratulations everybody. Thank you for participating. Thank you for all the support that you guys give me. It really means a lot. You've helped me a lot with this channel. I really appreciate all the questions. I have so many people reach out to me, and I hope you guys all know that you can always reach out to me. You can message me on Facebook. On my website, there's a link to chat, which just uses the Facebook plugin. So if you don't actually have Facebook, but you have a question and want to reach out to me, you can do it on the website. But I'm always here to help you guys out. And as the channel grows and as my subscriber base and follower base grows, I get to do these types of things. I get to do giveaways, which is pretty cool. I get to review things for you guys. And yeah, I'm really excited about the future of this channel and the future of Technically Jeff. And I'm glad that you guys are here for the ride with me. So I'm glad everything's been very helpful for you guys. And make sure you use those discount codes. It's one of the big things when I work with new companies. I try to get discount codes for everything. So yeah. So anyway, congratulations again to Ari. Thank you guys again. And I will see you guys soon. I am probably going to be not posting a lot over the next few days. My wife's grandmother just passed away, so we are going to be traveling for the funeral for the next few days. But just as FYI, but everybody have a good evening. Thank you for joining me on this little 45-minute chat, and I'll see you guys later.